Okay, very good. Hello, everybody. Hope you can hear me very well. So we're going to continue with the exercises, giving you the solutions on how to do the pieces. So let's get started. Now, I think I've gone through a little bit earlier on how to turn on and turn off some of these objects here. So we're doing the color vertex layer, which I believe in one of the previous videos, you can see the screen. So this is where you can find it in the channel editor. And what we're going to do is simulate in this order what we got going on here. So let's say how we do this manipulation. So we got the plane there. Going to move the plane here. Hold down X to snap to that part there. And what I've done here is just go press T for Toronto. And then I've got 10 units. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as you get it more or less to be as close as possible. And the way that I've done this piece here, I used the soft selection tool. But before we continue, just to make things a bit easier, I'm going to duplicate this as well with Control D for duplicate. Now you might realize the history does erase. So I'm just going to put that there and keep the one that's got the history. This one here has got 20 times 20, so we got more of a wavy kind of thing there. So just going to go 20, oops, it's 10, 20, 20 subdivisions. Okay, with this one here, it's a little bit less low poly, so we can just duplicate this one here, put that one there, and we're gonna do this a few more times with duplicate, duplicate, move that one there. This one here with Mario. This fella here is 16 times 16. So we're just going to do that as well. Hold T to 16 to match with those. And then let's get started with these. So with this one here, what I've done is I go into the face component. I click one here and then double click. Now, if soft selection is not on, you press B once until you get this soft selection. And then you increase it by holding down B and then the middle mouse button. And you can see how that's now growing. So we just want to make sure that's like taking the whole thing. But it's remained the old options from earlier. So what we have to do is we can press on the hammer with the three dots here on the corner top right, or you can also double click here and the two options will come up. And what you can do, if you press the reset tool, it should reset everything. Reset. And it will have the default values then. So I'm going to close this now. And this is where you can rotate this a little bit. I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger until it's like it's almost integrating. So I'll just go slide that down a little bit. Like I said, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's more about teaching you the advantages of this, and then I'm going to just go like that. And that is more or less fine. Okay? And that's a very cool way that you can do a soft selection like that. Now, this one here, we got this really cool water effect. So what I've done is find out where is the middle. So I'm just going to select this phase is here in the middle. We go back to the options with the soft selection. And this time now we want to have the wavy effect. So there's already some templates, like you can go in here and do something like this if you want. And that perhaps could be enough. But if you want to be a bit lazy, you can also just press this button once and it will do it for you. And what's really cool about this is that you got different settings, like this is more of a staircase kind of effect. This is like in and out, so this is like a ring kind of a thing, or if you want to do like a little hill. And this one here, it's more like, it's just the outside. So the center, it's like barely affected. But if you want to do that water effect, we're gonna do this one. And to get that similar effect, I've just gone up a little bit to get that water effect, and there you go. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right, so moving onwards. And now for, always feel free to pause it and then do it with me. Now for this scene, this is again doing vertex coloring. So we do the extrusion first, and then after the extrusion, then we do the colorizing. So there is, take off the B for source selection to select those. And then we can, if you hold down Shift, that's to extrude. That's fine. And then we're gonna select the C. Now for the C, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's more like, it's more just to get something that's close enough. And then I got this one step. So remember, if you hold down Shift, that's only, okay. So I'll do that again. So I'll go, boom, and then just to have the gap, boom, and boom. And that's with Control and Shift. Screw that. And now while we've got this already selected, now but this is where we can go to the vertex color. So we can go Mesh Display, Apply Color. We have the Options windows. And it doesn't have to be the exact colors, like as long as it's got something that you're happy with. Now with this part here, Shift and period to increase that selection. Apply. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a new technique. You can do this inverse. So you can do a reversed, inversed selection. But let's do something interesting. So inverse selection, you can hold down Control Shift I for India, and that will do the other one around. So now we can just color everything to be that lime green color. But let's say that we now have to select all of these items, and we can go like that one by one, and that could be quite tedious. However, there is an option where we can say, actually, instead of doing it this way, which is going to be very time consuming, and perhaps we want to do this a little bit faster. Say that this wasn't the millions of faces. What we can do is do a selection based on the surface. So if you go up here, where you do have a hammer, this is where you can have some of the operations. But you will find an option here where it says selection constraint. So this selection constraint here, you can select things depending on some options, but we're going to choose angle. And then the angle doesn't matter. Like if you just press something like 15, that's a very small angle. So now you can see how it's selecting anything that's like flat to those constraints very easily. So you just click here once and boom, that's all selected. And now again, we can just go apply color. And we're going to choose a different color. So we're going to go here, make that orange, done, apply. Okay, or red, or whichever color you want. Okay, very easy, very cool. All right, let's go onwards. I'm just going to move that on the side a little bit. With this one here, I was having a bit of fun, I guess. What we can do is just change all the color of this one go, like that. And then we can go around to create that spiral effect. So to go take off this constraint off, click, double click, and then it's kind of hard to see with that color. let's choose a different color just because it's hard to see what I'm doing. Let's pick blue so we can see how we're selecting those colors. Control 1 just to isolate the selection. And now we can't see this other guy. Hardly got. So that's a very good point actually. If you have anything selected and then you do Control 1, it only shows that selection, but do not worry, if you press Control 1 again, it will show the whole thing again. So it was good that happened. So it happens to you, then you don't get worried. It's not deleted, it's just hidden. So now we go face. I'm gonna go around here. Click, click, click. Hurry up. The clock. And now we can change again to another color. Mucho buenos. Mucho sis. Okay, and that's it. You don't have to do it twice. Just fill it up once, and that's it. Now, we're going to have fun with this fella here. I don't know if you remember earlier, but we did that technique on deselecting something. So the way that I've done this is we're going to do everything one color. So I'm just going to do red. Mesh display, apply color. Going to pick a red that I like. Apply. And then I'm going to do every single one, just like the flag of Spain. Yellow. There are better ways of doing this, but I think it will be a little bit too complicated to do that, actually. Okay. Let's show you a technique that you might like. So what you can do is, if you select the first two, just follow what I'm doing. So if you select the first two, that is in this way. I've done the wrong selection. The first two of every second row. So we have the yellow ones. And because they are together like that, you can do a grow selection based on the loop. So to do this, you know how grow selection is shift and period. This time just do shift and control and press period, and it will grow the selection based on the loop, which is very useful. So now let's just go again. Yellow. Apply. Cool. And now this is the part here where we're going to do the same for blue. Apply color, blah, blue, blah, da, 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 blah, apply. And now while this is still selected, this is where holding down Control, we're going to do the green ones. So hold down Control and go click, double click, click, double click, click, double click, click, double click, click, double click. And now we can just, they're kind of hard to see, but they're being highlighted there. And then just make them green. Any other color. Apply. Boom. Okay. There are other ways that you can do these, like, like you could just do one and then duplicate them and then stitch them together, but I think it's more about the exercise on how to do this. All right. Mario. With Mario, I'm just going to pause it for a second. So just to give you a bit of time on how to do these. And then we'll do Mario in a second. Very good. So hopefully you did not have too much trouble making this. These are pretty simple. With Mario, let's just select these three pieces. Control 1 to select, just to selection. I'm just gonna do full screen so we can see everything a little bit better. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use an option that has symmetry. Because if you see here with this reference image, it is a very symmetrical object, mostly, right? So we're just gonna do most of it as symmetrical as possible. And then after that, we'll do the edit with our other pieces. So I'm just going to grab this, hold down V to snap it to that part there. Hopefully that's the same. Yeah, and then move this to the right so we can see this a little bit easier. And we're going to use this thing called the symmetry with selection. So we're going to select this part here. In order to do the selection options, let's hold down the W button with this, and then hold down the W button, and then hold down the left with the W button. And you're going to get a few options here, right? Things might seem a little bit overwhelming at first, but you have things, this is the world selection, so it uses the axis with the world, and then this uses the axis of the actual object. But then if you look above you have symmetry here. So symmetry is essentially you using the symmetry of the object. So the way that you activate this, I'm going to do it again. You hold down W, left button. Actually, pause this for a second. Okay, I just activated the mouse so you can see the buttons that I press. So you go W, left click, symmetry. And then here would say symmetry, just go topology. Now you're going to say this thing here that says select the mesh edge for symmetry, because I'm doing this with topology. And I'm just going to select this middle one here. And what that's going to do now, anything that I select, it's going to select the symmetry, which is really, really cool. And what I'm going to select now is I'm going to select the colors that I know that have got symmetry. So I'm going to do the pens there. So that's 4, 3, 2. So I'm going to select, that's the middle one there, 1, 2, this one here. So I'm going to do the pens. Not the pens, the shoes. So I'm selecting the shoes there. I mean, you can do this without symmetry, it's just fine. It just means you're doing double the amount of clicks, right? I'm going to pick a happy brown. I don't know how a brown is happy, but that would do. Okay, and now I'm going to pick the pants. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do that, and then 3. It's almost like we're doing pixel painting with and then this one here, we cannot do this one, that has to be done manually later. So now I'm just going to pick blue. Doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, that's very off. Okay, now if you momentarily want to take off symmetry, we can just go W, do left click. I have to get out of the object mode, I guess. Take out topology for a second, and now we can just go select that by hand. We could do this part here with symmetry, but I'm scared now that's gonna select. That's fades. Am I doing this with multi by accident? It's not great when you want to make a. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset this tool and see if that's still. Yeah, I'm not too sure what I did wrong there, but that was really annoying. Sorry about that. Sometimes when the tool doesn't work. Mine is not too bad, but it can be quite buggy sometimes. So sometimes it's just good to, if things do not respond, just reset the tool, and that will do a pretty good job. So let's do the hat next, so we can do all the same colors. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the first. So we go here. Then this one here. Let's do the same there. So we got this 4, and then we got 3. Okay, so we got the hat. Now let's go red. Apply. And now we're gonna do the buttons, yellow. And now we're gonna do,
And it's a weird thing to do, but I think it's a great learning exercise on how to do selections very quickly. So this could be a great opportunity actually to show you how to do selection with painting. So you have this thing here called painting, but you can do this as well with tab. So if you hold down tab, you'll get this icon here that looks like a brush stroke with a plus button. And this will add things like so. So you can just, it's almost like you are actually painting very easily. Okay, we've got 4 here. Then there's the guy for the eyes, and then this one here. And then we have, so I'm just trying to figure out that we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's fine. So let's pick like a Caucasian color. I guess it's Italian. A happy Caucasian color, apply. And now we got the eyes and the mustachio. So let's do black. And then we got the hair. And voila. And we got Mario. Now, I just want to use the opportunity to delete. I'm going to delete the faces that are not there. What we can use is use this brushing and go like that, right? And that's going to take a little bit of time. I want to show you this tool here, which is called the Lasso tool. And what this does is you can just draw a circle like that, and it will essentially, like I'm holding down Shift and Control to add the selections there, so you can just go like that and go, whoa, yay. And then you can just draw that. Just be careful that you're not selecting anything that you do not want. But the Lasso tool is super duper to do this weird things like that. And hopefully I did not select anything important. And there you go. You got Mario. What? All right. So let's move on to the next thing. So just gonna select, just to get things a little bit less distracting, I'm gonna press H to hide on these, H to hide. And we're gonna do this. So I'm pretty sure everybody here knows how these are done. It's pretty straightforward. So we got the cylinder here. Press Toronto, T for Toronto. We're gonna add some height like that. And the only thing that we've done is select that loop. In here, we double click, press B once. We've got the default options with the scale. So we're just gonna double click here, press reset. B to expand that a little bit. And now this is a very good technique if you want to do like a barrel or something like that. So if anybody wants to do a barrel, this is a great way to get that circumference kind of thing. 1 to shift, that's exactly in the middle there. There you go. Okay? And then after that, you can just maybe scale it down a little bit this way to make it a little bit smaller, and that looks more like a barrel. And that's a perfect way to do this without having to move one by one all the time. Kind of move this here. Okay, so same deal with this one here. So cylinder, make it a little bit bigger. It's not that bad. Okay. I got this up still because we need to use that same effect that we used earlier for the water, so maybe this one. But I think the way that I done it, there is a little bit of a curvature, so I think I did it twice. So there's a trick to this. So I did it once like this, where I'm gonna add the subdivisions. I'm gonna hide that. Oh, I do not like that at all. It's got history, so I might need to delete this, do it again. Yeah, if anything behaves really weird like that, when you do if you do anything weird with it, like any manual operations, and then you use the history, sometimes it doesn't like it, so you just have to start from scratch. That's very normal. So you have to do that first, and then you can scale it and do whatever you want with it. And we're just gonna go that part there to do a regular smooth. Like that maybe. And now I'm gonna use the other one, this one here, to give it a bit of that wave effect. Yeah, that's the one, there you go. And nothing too crazy about it. Like you can do like a really cool stylus tree in seconds with that method. Okay. Very good. So I think that's long enough. We got a few minutes with that video. So you've learned a little bit more complicated selections. We've done the exercises. And also remember to, if you can help me out, I'm doing this for free. So remember to share, comment, like and subscribe. It will help me a lot. And feel free to share this around because I think it's great knowledge and you get to do some really cool stuff with Maya. And I'll see you soon.